Welcome to my channel There and Back Again. Today we're in the southern part of the country, Guilin of Thailand. In this episode, I'm taking you farther out from Bangkok to the south of Thailand on a boat tour. Here we are at Ratchaprapha Dam or Cheo Lan Lake, a human-made water reservoir that's on a top tourist attraction spot. We carried our belongings into a long boat and started our journey into the water reservoir. There are over 270 limestone islands popping up. That's because this water reservoir is made by filling up a large mountain pass. You can even see the top of the trees that still remain from when the dam was constructed 40 years ago. The reservoir covers 40,000 acres or 160 square kilometers, and the deepest spot is over 300 feet or 90 meters. While being on the boat, we weren't really aware of how deep the reservoir is and not worried about dropping our belongings. But once we arrived at the floating resort, a local business where we stayed overnight, we were informed of how many guests have lost their phones and other belongings, and even with the help of professional divers and rescuers, the lost belongings were not found. And here we are entering into the first attraction spot of the day, Khao Sam Gle, or the Three Musketeers Mountains, named so because of their shapes and the numbers. We swapped out our suitcases, which have had the best view so far, and took turns to take photos. Then we set off for the next part of our journey, hoping to rest a little bit after arriving at the floating resort, play with the water, and then watch the sunset. But alas, what happened was we started to head into the rainstorms. You can see the gray clouds along the way. Being ready to play with the water, we instead had to play with the rain. This reservoir collects all the rainwater, and because of the limestone, the water turns into this beautiful turquoise color even when the sun is not out. We finally arrived at the destination, but because of the rain, we're all soaking wet. The rain died down soon enough, and we got to swim in kayak, enjoying the beautiful sceneries. We ended the day with a little bit of the sunset and clouds. The next morning, we woke up bright and early, hoping to see the sea of fog over the peaceful mountains. Alas, the rain last night washed out all of the fog. What about sunrise? Well, we've seen that in our dreams. After breakfast, we checked out and headed back to the shore, admitting that with this kind of terrain, one could expect any kind of weather within a day, and it's super hard to forecast. At least we got to see the cliffs and the forests we couldn't see yesterday when it rained cats and dogs. I should mention though that because the boat allows the wind to blow through easily in all directions, boat flipping or accidents weren't really in our mind. We were told that although there is a big hydroelectric power plant on one side of the dam, the rest of the water reservoir is quite well preserved. These islands are abundant of local animals, and at night, if you're lucky enough, you could see elephants and deer swimming from one island to another. Well, I'm not sure if this is just a joke or if this is a true story, but anyhow, no buildings are allowed on these islands or within the national park. Only boats and floating resorts are allowed for the park rangers and for tourism purpose. Only the locals who used to live here are granted permit to run the floating resort business. There are many other attractions in this area. On a nice and sunny day, one could trek into the caves and see stalactites and stalagmites that look just like icicles and coral reefs. In the national park outside the reservoir area, there are also multiple trails and waterfalls for anybody to enjoy. And that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching and see you next time.